Hello, everyone. This is Lauren,
Hey, this is Jillian.
and welcome to.
Coco Conversations.
Hey, Julian. How's your week been? I feel like we haven't talked in a while.
I know, we really haven't. I've had a good week. I'm excited to share my adventure, actually.
Yeah.
It's very hot in Philly right now, but other than that,
Girl, it's hot all across this East Coast. Virginia is an oven right now. I'm sure as it is in Pennsylvania.
hmm
Global warming is real, y'all. It is real. Climate change is real. So, well, let's go ahead and start in with our lilac report. What I have been loving Benny wafers. The girls from the Low Country, if you know, you know. Like you said
hit me, hit
before, I'm a Gullah Geechee girl, not born but raised. My mother, my whole family was from there. Anyways, Benny wafers are these small little wafer cookies, crisp biscuits, however you call them, that are native to the Low Country. The Benny seed was brought over from West Africa in the 1700s, and Benny wafers are just so good. We just got back from Charleston a couple days ago, and I've still been munching on them. I actually just finished my last bag of them before we started recording, but they're just such
Is
a
it like a
nice.
cracker or a cookie?
It's like a little cookie. It's a little circle cookie. It's like a thin like wafer. And they're so good. They're nutty, they're sweet. If you know, you know, but I have been loving Benny wafers. I probably should have purchased more before we came back, but I've been loving that. What have you
Okay.
been loving?
I've been loving, y'all know, one of my goals is to read 2 books this summer.
Yeah.
One fiction, one nonfiction. So I was in the airport last weekend going to Milwaukee, and I picked up this Kennedy Ryan book, Can't Get Enough, the new one, and it's purple. So obviously I gravitated towards it, and I wanted to be like one of the cool girls and read it. So
Okay, so you know you beat me because I haven't started it yet. I that's up to beat my list this summer. How do you like it so far?
I actually really enjoy it. So Lauren knows this, but I'm not a big like romance novel girly. Like Lauren's been trying to get me on the romance train. I like 7 Days of June and things like that, but I'm not super. I don't know. I like a mixed mystery, a thriller, or I really do like nonfiction. Honestly, like that's usually my go-to too. But it's like a slow burn. I'm only in the first 100 pages, and I'm like, I like this book. I really do. Like I can kind of see where it's going, but
Yes.
it's really like I don't know how we're gonna get there, and that's like the fun part of like how these two characters, like the main character who's a female and the main character who's a male, like how are they gonna actually like get together? Because obviously like they're the main couple, but I'm 100 pages in, they haven't even like fully become a couple yet. I just like am like enjoying like the setup. I feel like the setup is really good, so I'm just excited to see like when things start to happen, the plot starts to come into play. But I'm really enjoying this, so definitely if you haven't already, I know a lot of people have, it's worth adding to your list. I'm at 100 pages, so I can tell you this. It's worth it.
Wait to read it. Kennedy Ryan is that girl. She's one of my favorite authors. I could go on and on. Separate episode about how much I love Kennedy Ryan. So I'm so excited to read that book because this could be us. Judah, a man. So I
Mhm.
cannot wait to see who Hendrix' love interest is going to be and how much
Yes,
of a
girl.
man
He does
he
not
is.
disappoint.
I cannot wait. I have some other book boyfriend. Cannot wait to meet my new book boyfriend.
All right, so what's been impacting you lately?
Impacted me recently, like I said earlier, my husband and I, we just got back from a long week long trip in Charleston, South Carolina. So the true rest and relaxation, being fully unplugged from work, like my out of office emails were like no access to email, not limited, no access to email. Okay, I am unavailable. Calendar is blocked. Don't prepare the others. I'm not there. Okay. And I truly needed that. School year just ended. A lot of people got off contract last week or 2 weeks ago, so it was a perfect time to get away, go to the beach, spend some time with my grandmother, be immersed in my culture, my heritage, walk in the same streets, all the things. Like, I've talked about it many times how much I love Charleston and how proud I am of my Charleston roots. Yeah, it was a super fun. We'll get too much into that. Will be my adventure. But the true rest and waking up without an alarm clock, having just days are not heavily scheduled, just to kind of bip and bop and see where the day takes me or takes us was chef's kiss. I feel today was my first day back at work, and I just feel so much better. Like I feel like, oh, I can actually feel really relaxed and restored and ready to get back to work and be all in and not like groggy or anything. So that's
It's
what's
nice
been
to
impacting me.
unplug. It's nice to unplug from work, like have a nice week long trip. I
Yes.
love a long trip because by day 3 you forget you even have a job. And
Okay.
really, and they're needed. They're needed. Sometimes you really need to take a longer break than shorter.
Yes.
But yeah, I love that. I love how you guys like travel. I know you're gonna talk about in your adventure, but I love how y'all have your own little like. You guys always go back to Charleston. And
Yes.
it's like your little spot. So, but for me, what's been impacting me lately is Graham Biscuit, my dear dog. He is in Milwaukee right now. He is spending time with his aunt and uncle, and I miss him. Yes, I dropped him off last weekend. I went for Father's Day weekend. My dad came up and we spent time in Milwaukee with my brother and sister-in-law, and they have a cute house with a yard and everything like that. And so they offered, well, I asked actually.
Yeah.
Things like I'm just like a little bit busy this summer, and sometimes
Right.
my dad will watch Graham. But they were just so kind enough. They said it's fine, like we'll watch him, for a couple of weeks. And him and my brother are really close, so I'm really sad without him. So that's been impacting me.
Girl, it's all the parents drop their kids off at the families' houses over the summer. I was one of them. Graham is growing up in a black household, therefore he'll be dropped off.
Yeah,
So needs a break, and mom does need a break.
I need a break.
And it's good for him to socialize and visit his house in Milwaukee. Like, he has plenty of houses. Like, if y'all don't know, Graham has a beautiful life and he is well traveled. He goes to the beach, he rides the subway. He's very at home whenever you meet him, if you are fortunate enough to be blessed with his presence. So I'm happy for GB. I know he's having a great time running around with his uncle and aunt.
He's having a good time, but it's been nice. It's lonely, but usually I'll just like kind of stay at the house for most of the day, like just bip and bop and do things.
Right.
He's not around because normally like he's my buddy, like we chill together.
Yes.
Together. Yeah, I miss him, but it's good to have a break as a single dog mom. So shout out to all my single dog moms out there. Like, I see you, girl.
Okay, we see you.
Drop them off at the family house and
We appreciate you.
have a break.
You. Mommy deserves a break too.
Okay, hello.
Her babies are forever babies. Okay.
Yes. I love my son. Okay. All right. So, what are you listening to this week?
So currently, I just started today. I have been listening to the book Luca by Gray Huffington on Spotify. I'm only like chapter 2 in. It's like an urban romance. I don't know where this is going because we're in chapter 2, chapter 3, and the male main character, the MMC, has not been introduced yet. So Luca has not been introduced to the plot yet. All I know now is this the female main character Ever. She got in the bus middle of the night with her 2 kids, 2 daughters. One's 5, one 3. Her husband, boyfriend, I don't know if there's her husband, whatever, her partner hit her for the last time. And instead of sticking around for it and being gaslit and love bombed, she packed 3 suitcases, got on a bus to her hometown, had with $400 in her account, and is going to be living with a friend in her hometown, and just trying to find herself again. So the book's name is Luca, so obviously it's going to be about Luca, but I don't know. Luca hasn't come to the book yet.
I'm
I don't know Luca yet.
that.
So I am excited to read this. It's been on my TBR list for a while, and it's like
Who's the author?
Gray Huffington.
Oh, I think you said that.
And it's kind of hard to find black romance books in the stores. Like, they'll have Barnes Noble, and like sometimes your local independent stores may have them, especially if they're like women owned or black owned, or they're just like only the romance only bookstores are kind of popular now. But I have been looking for this book, the physical copy, forever, and when I do get my hands on it, I will be purchasing. I think I'll just go on Amazon or something to find them. Amazon.
I'm a big Amazon book buyer.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon has all the books you can think of, so which will probably be the case, but I wanted to listen to it and hear it. So like I said, I'm in chapter 3, 4, whatever. I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't know how Luca is. I just see the cover of, if you see the cover of the book, it's just this fine guy, bearded up, tatted up. I'm like, oh, Luca. I don't even know you. I don't even know you. I cannot wait to get to know you, honey. So that's what I've been listening to, in addition to, for a song, old song, the girls who know, as we all know, we are a Beyonce. This is a Beyonce stan account. This is a Beehive podcast. I don't want to hear no discourse over here. Dangerously in Love is one of my favorite albums from her. It's not my favorite, but it's in the top 5 for me. And yes, That song, Yes by Beyonce, has been on repeat recently. That is a good song. Dangerously in Love is one of her best albums. I don't care what no one says. Like, for her to be her debut album, she came out stepping. So I have also been listening to that in my rotation when I listen to music. So Beyonce, Dangerously in Love. Yes,
Well, no
specifically.
surprise here. Mine is Beyonce as well. And mainly because I don't know if you saw, but I saw
Girl,
via TikTok that she loves Paris and hates us.
she hates
Because not only is
Americans.
Miley Cyrus, the twins came out, and last but not least, her husband Jay-Z came out
Jay-Z.
in Paris. I mean, I would have loved that. I mean, we in New York, we would have loved to see. We went to the New York show. We would have loved.
I want to be niggas in Paris. Listen to niggas in
Okay.
Paris.
But that prompted me to hear. I wanted to listen to On the Run too. That song.
Yes.
Have been listening to that since. I was like, oh yes.
That's,
I forgot how good they are together.
they are so good. Bonnie and Clyde, that song, and
Yes. Oh my God.
I need to, like, if y'all go to my Instagram account, my husband and ours engagement video was to On the Run Part 2. Because who wants that perfect love story anyway? Cliche, baby. So cliche.
Yeah, so definitely keeping that on rotation, but I would love to listen to a book too. That's something I want to do. Because you said Spotify does what, 15 hours?
15 hours with if you get the premium, I get the premium, it's worth it because I don't like commercials. I listen to a lot of music and stuff. So you get 15 hours of audio book hours, and you can get a good book out of it. Sometimes two, depending on the length of the book. So I love it. No hold times. Download to your library, start listening, press play.
Okay, so tell us more about Charleston because I want to hear how your Charleston weekend was. 'Cause I think that's a week, excuse me.
Yes.
Your was in Charleston. I believe that was your adventure.
That was my adventure. My husband and I, we went to Charleston for a week. I go to Charleston every summer ever since 1999. It doesn't stop now. Now that I'm an adult, many years later. But we had a great time. We always walk downtown. We stay downtown by the market. We just like being in the French Quarter. A lot of our favorite restaurants are there. We had a phenomenal time. Walk around the Battery. We go to the beach. We went to Sullivan's Island, which is a family beach for us. It's a locals beach. I mean, it's not local anymore because everything's kind of popular now. But Sullivan's Island is one of our family's beaches. Whatever. So we went to Sullivan's Island. We spent some time with my gorgeous, fabulous, stunning grandmother, who is thin, and I finally learned how to make okra polo. The girls who know, it's a rice dish, basically with rice and okra and how you fry it up together. You could put a ham in it. You could put, sausage, however you put shrimp in it, whatever. I'm just trying to learn these recipes. Like, recipes are going to die if you do not learn them.
Yeah.
From the people who know them for real, when we're just using butter and onion. It's very simple, 1, 2, 3. So that's always a vibe.
You're literally your family's. I always say you're your family's historian. I love it. It's like your grandmother prepped you to be the family historian and take on all the.
Yes, I know.
She's been molding you into like the
Girl,
and it's historians.
It really has been.
Pass down the recipes. I love it.
And it's the recipes, for my family is very old. My mother had me closer to 40. My grandmother's 97. My great-grandparents were born in the 1800s. So I'm not that many generations removed from slavery. And I can go all of my family history, where my family's from. My family's from Edisto Island, specifically in the 1800s. All the things, the Drayton plantation, ugh, gross. But, I'm blessed that I can track it. Yeah, so every time I go down there, I just feel so empowered. And yes, Charleston has a very complicated, dark history. And yes, a lot of gruesome things have happened there to our people, to my ancestors, to my bloodline specifically. And it's something to it coming in 2025 and being there and walking the streets. I'm staying in the French Quarter. I'm staying south of Broad. It's like we weren't even allowed to be those places. So I just love the vibes. I'm just very much like
very spiritual connection, ancestral connection.
Yes.
And it's very
yeah, it's very spiritual. And if those of y'all are not familiar with the Low Country or the Gullah Geechee people, we are a very spiritual people. We're taught to be reflective. The culture is pretty much intact from West Africa that we came over here from Sierra Leone to the Barbados to Charleston. I love that I could kind of track my family that way. Anyway, but we had a great time. Walking the streets, I recommend obviously Rainbow Row, Page's Okra Grill in Mount Pleasant, Hannibal's for soul food on 16 Blake Street on the east end, Yield Fashion on West Ashley. I believe they have a location maybe in Goose Creek or Somerville, whatever. But for ice cream,
Ice cream, yeah.
yeah, for the ice cream spots, Carmela's for late nights. They have a dessert bar. And they're also a coffee shop. Then they play good music at night. Henry's on the Market. If you know, you know, for live music. Girl, I could give you recommendations from the
I
car come
know.
home.
Yeah,
So
a girls trip to Charleston.
we need
Like,
to do
I'm
one.
really down for like, what was it? Like your wedding.
Yeah. Girl, you
I've
know,
been before, but like we haven't been like we gotta go like together.
we need
Girls
to
trip.
go.
We need like girls trip it. I feel like that'd be a good girls trip spot
And
for us.
shopping. I mean, shout out to
Yeah.
are you familiar with the
Outlets.
Estelle
Huh?
wine glasses, the Estelle glasses? They're like colored wine glasses. They
I
come in
think
like
yeah.
different drinkware. Come to find out, they have a storefront on King Street and they just opened up in February. And the founder, she's like, her family's from South Carolina. I'm like, no wonder I like this collection with all the colors. Girl, no wonder. Because, girl, I didn't know you was one, like, I knew it was black owned, but girl, I didn't know
I
you're one of us.
know.
Duh. So we went in, and I'll definitely be back. We'll be back for our Labor Day. We'll always go back for our wedding anniversary during Labor Day weekend. So I'll be back to purchase some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my adventure. How was your adventure? What was your adventure for
My
the week?
adventure was I had a bachelorette weekend.
Yeah.
I just got back. It's like a Monday, so I just got back yesterday. One of my close friends, Chelsea. Shout out to Chelsea.
Shout out Chelsea. Congratulations.
Yes, I'm a bridesmaid in her wedding, which like made me tear up so much. I'm so excited to be like in her wedding. It's in August. Very, very excited. I've never had to come for the groom ever. Let me stop.
Okay, but for real.
Yeah, no, but for real, he's a wonderful man. I'm like, I just love it. Like, even as a single gal, I just love seeing my friends, you know, pair off and find their soulmates or find their partner, and they're just like amazing, and they're just doting over my friend, and they are treating her right and doing all the things like that. Just makes it so. That just makes me so excited as a friend that I'm just like, okay, good. My girl's good.
Yes.
Other girls have married off to the most wonderful husbands, so it's been really like nice to be in this era where my friends are getting married. So. But anyways, the point is, it was a like joint batch and bachelorette party, which I had never done before.
How was that?
10 out of 10. I actually really liked it. We all stayed at the same hotel, and then there were also some people who lived in the area because it was close to, we were like between DC and Baltimore. So some people lived in Maryland and DC. And so some people stayed at home, some people stayed at the hotel, but we have a hotel we all stayed at, and then we did like dinner together. I missed dinner because work. Anyways. We went out after as a group, and then the next day, all the girls, we did aerial yoga.
Oh my God, how was that? I know that was so much fun.
My gosh, like number one, we were hungover, but we were fighting for our lives to like make it there. But once we got there, it was very enjoyable. If you've never done aerial yogi girly like I am,
Yes.
Lauren, you are too. The silk aerial yoga, you would love. I really liked it. We did some like flips upside down, so it was like kind of fun.
Yes.
But it was relaxing in some ways. You got a really deep stretch using the silks. So I definitely recommend. We went to, I'll have to put it in the show notes. I can't remember off the top of my head where we went, but I think it was black owned. We had a black instructor, so that was really
nice. Oh, so vibes. I'm sure vibes were immaculate there.
Vibes were
Playlist was
I was
amazing.
very much into my like, you know, woosah, you know.
Yeah.
Earthy vibes. So that was fun. And then we all got back together and did a boat together, like a little boat day. The music going, you know, drinks were flowing. We were just having a good time. And then later that night, there was karaoke. I missed that. So I was like, I have to go to sleep.
Look, Jill, one thing you don't play about is your sleep.
My sleep.
Like, go out. But I'm going to go to sleep.
I won't have FOMO. I will not have FOMO. I need to rest my body.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we went to church the next day, and then we went to church as a group. Some people, again, like it was kind of like people were coming in and out of the weekend just because it's a big party and people were local, which was totally fine.
Right.
It didn't damper the experience at all. And then we went to church together, and then the actual bridal shower was like Sunday afternoon.
Love that.
And it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. So I had a lot of fun. I really liked being able to like interact with the bridal party, the groomsmen, and so like now we're all excited to see each other again for the wedding and just like enjoy. I think the vibes are gonna be so good at the wedding because we all
I love that.
and like turned up together and stuff like that. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. But yeah.
That I'm glad you had a great time. I'm loving the trend now of couples going on joint bachelor trips together. I think they're so much fun. They're so adorable. If I had to do anything over again, I would have done that. Because it just looks like, you're having fun with your girls, you go home from your man. It's just like,
it was cute because we like they were together, so like they both would like wear white, and then we had
yes,
like, themes, and then it was like we were all just like hyping them up, and they got to be like cute together. And again, like I think it just makes everybody excited to see each other again for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like really great. I definitely recommend like as like a bridesmaid, somebody in the party. I thought it was really fun. Having a party and then just like celebrating my friend. Like I've known her since high school. Like since she was in 9th grade, I was in 10th grade. We were in the cheerleading team together. So I was literally like I had my little speech, and I'm not super emotional.
You're not. You really are.
I'm really not. But in my head, like I am like inside, but I'm not gonna like really like give it. But I was like, I have to say something, and I did. And I was just like, we literally like started out like we know each other's like younger dating stories when we were just like getting into like dating and just all the chaos, like like when you first start out dating when you're younger and stuff like
when
that.
You're like in high school.
Yes, and so it's like now to see her in this like beautiful relationship with this amazing man, but he's honestly it's more so she's amazing, like he's really lucky to have her, to be
period
honest. She's just nurse, a master's in nursing, she's been a Raven cheerleader for 4 years, Pro Bowl cheerleader.
Shout out to Pro Bowl, girl.
Shout out to Pro Bowl, just a woman of faith. Like she's just awesome. She just has such a good heart. She's such a genuine person. One of the reasons why I'm like still friends with her to this day after all this time. So it's just nice, like spending time celebrating your girls.
I hear my friends-in-law like my friends-in-law like, oh, you're getting married. Oh my God. I cannot wait to see the pictures from the wedding. I know you're going to have a great time. Congratulations, Chelsea. I'm rooting for you, shouting for you. You look stunning. I saw all the content. Stunning, 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 super gorgeous. She's going to make a absolute stunning, gorgeous, beautiful bride.
She is.
Oh my God. I'm so happy for her. I always love seeing Black love being here for Belle.
Me too.
Oh my gosh.
Me too.
I love it. Congratulations, Chelsea. So
what's our this week? Current event. What you got for us?
My current event for the week, hate to be depressing, but did you see about that shooting in Minnesota and how that crazy man went in the middle of the night and assassinated that state representative, and her husband, and then severely wounded the other state representative and his wife?
That was insane.
Girl.
They need to read, like, that he just, like, went in their house and, like, just killed them. Do you know, like, is there, like, a motive, or, like, did you see anything about
the motive? Obviously, I don't know what the motive is. I know they were both Democratic state representatives.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that, the Democratic Party in Minnesota holds a very, very slight majority, maybe like 1 or 2 seats. Mm-hmm. And now that one of them unfortunately did pass away, seats are up. I mean, obviously the seats have to be filled. I don't know what's going on with Minnesota politics. You
think that could have been allegedly a reason?
Girl, I think so, because it's like, some of these Trump supporters are really going crazy out doomsday. And then the FBI, ATF, whoever, the federales, found a list of other representatives he was planning going to that night, and he dropped it at one of the houses, and they found it. He was planning to
not there was a list.
There was a list. I believe Governor Tim Walz was probably on that list too, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me, but people, and it was crazy. But the craziest thing about it, why wasn't President Trump? He didn't even call Governor Walz and was like, I don't need to call him. At this time, at the end of the day, I don't care what political party you are. That's inappropriate. No one should come into these state representatives' houses, these politician houses, and feel empowered to kill them in their sleep because you don't agree with their views and values. That's stupid. I don't care if it was a Republican. I would be just as said it was a Republican or a radical or whoever you want to call it. I would still be very upset if that happened to someone else, a party that I don't typically align with. That's unacceptable.
At the end of the day, you're head of state, you are supposed to be a leader, and there's certain things I expect out of a leader. Hence why I did not vote for him, because I just felt like he didn't have those qualities. And this is
right.
I'm sorry, you are for the people. Everybody has so many different opinions. You have some people that are for you, some people that just don't agree with you. But at the end of the day, when it comes to humanity and people. There has to be some type of bipartisanship where it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Humanity, it's these people who are serving in government,
Yes.
gunned down in their home.
In
You
the
know what I
middle
mean?
of the night.
That's diabolical. It should not be. I mean, you should be outraged. Like, you should be.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a scary time that we're living in right now, that people feel as though if you don't agree with them, that they have the right to physically harm you.
It's like people think their opinions are facts, and it's like, that's
Yes.
not your opinion. Your opinion is based off of your perspective, your experiences, you know, what you've, you know, read about, or
Right.
heard. You know, it comes from so many different places, and we all are unique in that. We all have our own, you know, way that we see the world, just based off of those factors. So it's just, you're not going to always agree with somebody. It doesn't mean I want to go. Do I want to go up and like, you know, gun down all the Trump supporters because I feel like they're supporting somebody? No, I'm not.
No.
That's insane. I would never even like think.
No, I actually want the best for them, because we're all Americans. At the end of the day, I hope us we
Yeah.
find some common ground. But I did see the discourse, or a lot of conversations since this has happened. You know, a lot of people who serve in public office, most states, most people are politicians, they're required to put their home addresses online. It's public record, or their phone numbers. And that's dangerous. I mean, I think I don't think we realize how dangerous that is. I'm all here about having representation of your constituents, of your party, of your residents, of your citizens, whomever. They should have access to you and find ways to reach out to you and contact you, and to express their beliefs, their concerns, have town halls, whatever you call it. But when I don't think it's safe anymore to have that information online for people to use at their disposal, because look what happened. So hopefully I encourage like everyone in all these states and different, localities, to really kind of look at that and just be really careful with the people who hold a public office. As someone my dad holds a public office in my hometown, that stuff can get really scary when, you have CNN calling the house, or people knocking at your door, or they're knowing where you live, or driving by your home and know what car you drive and your license plate number. That stuff can get really scary, especially in these like very tumultuous times. Yes, it can get in the wrong hands.
Well,
Yes,
people are
and like
people don't have good intentions. People are malicious.
exactly.
Entitled, especially these days, feel very entitled.
Yes, and like and obviously we have a mental health issue in this country, and people have guns, don't use them properly, and we really need to kind of revamp that, because this cannot happen again. And my fear that will happen, I don't want this to be the first of many. I want this to be the last time something like this happens to people who choose to take public office to serve their communities and speak out for what is right, and what they feel is what is right, and their belief system and their values, and they have the platform to do so because the voters voted for them that's who they chose to represent them in their state democracy. And this crazy man is gunned down. And I also, like, to wrap it up, I just find it a little, ironic. Obviously, like, he lived. Like, the suspect lived. They picked him up, they found him, however, not too far away. I don't think he even made it past state lines. But, they found him and they arrested him. That if that was a black man, they would have shot him dead. Like, we wouldn't have heard this. It would have been the end of that. So it's sometimes like, I'm not condoning death. I'm not condoning any of that stuff. But like how we treat white killers in this country, and versus how we treat black quote unquote criminals, or just alleged criminals, is ridiculous. As someone who was, in town for Mother Emanuel in Charleston when that shooting happened 10 years ago at the time, very scary. But when they found Dylan Roof, like they stopped by Burger King and he had a burger. I'm praying for the people of Minnesota. I pray for our country so we get to a place that we could just be together as Americans. What makes America beautiful is our diversity, and I just hope that we get to a place we can find some common ground. Girl, everything's going on in this country right now. What's your current event?
Let's just get to it. So
Yeah.
we are now in a conflict with Iran. Excuse me if I mispronounce it. Yes, but there's been U.S. attacks. So I don't know if you recall, but last week Trump was kind of like flirting with the idea. There was actually like this popular TikTok sound where he was like, "Oh, World War III, like hard pass, like not engaging or whatever." You know, I was like joking, laughing, like, "Oh, that's
Right,
so
right, girl, yes.
And then, like, you know, shit hit the fan this weekend where he did, in fact, incite a strike. So let me read from CBS News. The United States launched strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. President Trump announced Saturday evening, calling them a spectacular military success.
Boo.
The U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear assemblies in the Iranian regime: Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. President Trump said in a national address from the White House Saturday night, "Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror." So I guess it was supposed to be like there was this back and forth, and he was like, you know what? Let me show you. Like, we're about it. But it's like, you know, I don't know enough about the situation to know if like that's something that we really needed to do. Obviously, like, I'm not in the military, but from an American perspective, I know I personally don't want to be in it. I know that this already started, or this initiated or was triggered by conflict between Israel. You know, as we all know what's going on with Israel and Palestine right now in Gaza. Like, I don't, you know, a lot of Americans, we do not support the allyship any longer with Israel because they are making these decisions that are just not what we want. We don't want to be supporting them. And so to be in a situation where, again, we are, I guess, showing our allyship to Israel, and we are creating more world conflict for ourselves. And it's not something I like to see. So that's been something that's been really interesting.
No, it's scary. I just think it's a scary. Like, what happens now? I think I saw today too that, you know, Iran attempted to retaliate to send missiles over to our base in Qatar, but Qatar knew about it and diverted it and like blocked it, and thankfully there was no deaths or injuries as of today.
Yeah, and I think they started to take to send back some of the Americans that are on bases out there.
Yes.
Started moving them out because
It's gonna get. I mean, tensions are high, but I just hate how America. I'm like, why are we in everyone's business? Like, we really are.
I mean, you have to understand, like, we have a lot of global power, and then also there's these treaties and these allyships that we have into place with our military, and so
This is true.
we get all tied up into these conflicts because we're like, well, we're friends with Israel. We've been helping them with their military. You see what we've been like, you know, that's why there's such an uproar with supporting, and why there feels like there's a big responsibility to America to fix the Palestine and Gaza war genocide, is because we have allyship with them and we've been supporting them in ways.
Right.
So here it's the same thing. Israel and Iran are getting into it, and Israel's like, are you going to help us out? Are you going to be there for us? And Iran's like, you really about to get into this? You really about to get into this?
Regardless, all that stuff, the fact that like Trump did not get approval from Congress.
So this is a situation where President Trump just decided, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to send the missiles. And if you were kind of paying attention last week, I sending the missiles,
right,
and obviously it happened. And now Congress is like, well, we have to be a part of it. So now there's this conflict between the Congress and the president, where it's like, does he really have this say, or is it balance of power? We have Congress needs to be the one to come together and say, like, we're really going to initiate. You're basically initiating beef. You're initiating a war when you're sending over war weapons to another country.
Exactly. I just like, overall, in the first, it's been 6 months since it's been inaugurated almost, and he's been going completely rogue, fulfilling his own agendas, going against his own party, not talking to Congress, not going the proper channels to start a war or start attacks, however it goes. And I don't even know how the protocol goes. I probably should pay attention in my 8th grade civics class, but you know, it is nuts. And like, here we are getting involved.
You know, President Trump, he was never a politician, and they have respect for it, right?
Yes,
right. Deportations, it's another situation where there's this kind of debate going on between, does the president have more power, or do the
localities,
do they have more power over, for example, this deportation issue where, you know, President Trump is saying, well, birthright citizenship is reserved for descendants of slaves, because that's how it was originally written in the Constitution, and that's his way of trying to mass deport people, and saying that they came in on a way that wasn't originally written
for them.
for an immigration,
right,
yeah.
immigration, for immigration as we see it today in
Right, so
2025.
you have a lot of like judges blocking his decision for deportations based off of that. So there's another debate going on where it's, does the president hold power? He's saying no, this is I interpret it this way and this is law, or is there still some power within the states for things like that? So there's a lot of like within his presidency, it just seems like there's a running theme of him just trying to assert his power
Yes.
as president. However, if you know, like you said, go back to your civics class, we have a checks and balances. We have a democracy where
Right.
technically the president isn't supposed to have just this
Like this
just outright
dictatorship
power.
almost.
That's not really how we were framed, back
Right.
in 2006 and like all the amendments that came forward. It was supposed to be
A
about
representative democracy. Congress checks.
yeah, we don't want one. It's the same thing with we don't want one party to have too much power, even though sometimes it happens. It's still an opportunity. Like you have the House and the Senate, so one could be blue, one could be red.
Right.
The point is, that's the point. So there's a lot of that going on as well.
I just feel like his followers, his voters and his allies in Congress and the Supreme Court, people who are really supportive of him, they don't even challenge him a little bit. And it's getting to a point where it's like, you're really letting this man, he is our president. He was voted to be our president. Come here, do whatever he wants to do without upholding our democracy, upholding our constitution.
And some people want that. There's a lot of
This is true.
A lot of people want that. They want somebody that's more radical. They want things to go to a certain way, and he is unapologetic, and he feels like, well, whatever. I'm in this position. I escaped jail. They let me get away with a lot of things. I barely knew what I was doing the first time, and I got away with everything. He doesn't really know what he's doing now. He had to pay back Elon Musk the first couple months with him, funding his campaign, letting him kind of like run rampant and quote unquote have certain choices and things like that, where that's not the case anymore. But now we're here. He's in the mix of it, and these people, they like that. The really like alt-right radical conservative.
No, of course they want it.
They don't mind. They love that he's like this because they're like, perfect. He doesn't have any empathy. He doesn't think about the people. He thinks about himself and getting to the next check, the next buck, the next step. He doesn't care about how he gets there. He doesn't care if he steps on people's toes. So he doesn't care. He's going to push our agenda to do things that are inhumane or don't make sense or don't align with our government.
Right. And I get that, but I just really hope, prayers to everybody, like prayers to our citizens here at home, prayers to our military, prayers to the citizens of Iran, the Middle East. Hopefully this conflict comes to some type of resolution sooner than later, because it's sad. People are losing their lives. It's crazy. And
prayers to the Middle East, and I'm really hoping that, I'm literally looking at CNN they're literally having like live updates. Stay in the know about like what's going on, because it's getting really serious and things are moving fast. It's only been since January, and I don't think it's going to slow down. Okay, so let's get into today's topic for this conversation. So as you know, our dear Lauren, she is turning 29 next month.
yes, it is cancer season.
Yes.
The crazy girls, we're outside.
She's turning 29. I just turned 30 in February, and a lot of our conversations lately have been very reflective, just thinking about our 20s, reflecting. We met when I think I was 19, you were 18.
We were 18. We were teenagers.
Yeah, we were teenagers. And so
10 years ago. 10 years ago.
10 years ago. And so we've seen each other through this decade, and I think that we can honestly say that individually we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot together, and so we kind of want to like dive into it this conversation, like kind of share some of our
tips, our little life lessons we've learned in our 20s. I'm turning 29 in a couple weeks. I know my 20s are not over yet, but the majority part of it is. Are they done? Let's get into it. So what's your first life lesson?
Okay, so my first life lesson, and it's probably like my favorite thing to say, is life is not a trial run.
Retweet.
Life is not a trial run. You hear me?
Can we just say it one more time, just for the third time?
Life is not a trial run.
Amen. Hallelujah.
You're not sitting back and then you're like, okay, I'm going to participate the next time. Like, this is it. Like, don't be a participant in your life. Or no, I'm sorry. Don't be an observer in your own life. Like, be an active participant in your own life. Like,
Amen.
this is it. You know, you want to achieve something. If you want to do something, make it happen for yourself. See what you need to do to get there. Like, you have all of these, use the opportunities that are in front of you when they come. You know, I know that varies person to person, but I just want you to remember that life is not a trial run. And one of the reasons why I have this like thought process is this book called The Defining Decade, and it's really
Ooh.
popular.
Come on, book club.
Okay, so
Reading list.
it's a very quick read. I think I downloaded it like on iBooks, so it's like on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
But she basically talks about, the author talks about your experiences in your 20s and how it's actually a quote unquote defining decade. Whereas a lot of people like to say, like, oh, it's your 20s, like you're young, whatever, nothing matters.
Right.
Live your life, yada, yada, yada. And while I think it's important to live your life, what I took from that book was, it's still the decisions you make in your 20s, they just don't go away.
They do not.
Time to recover, right? From, you know, poor choices and certain consequences.
Right.
So that's where the illusion comes in, where people will say like, oh, like do whatever because you have time to recoup. But it really does matter. And so if you can and you do have the opportunity to maximize your 20s, you should. And it doesn't mean overwork yourself. It doesn't
Right.
mean, you know, do crazy things to keep up. It just means like be intentional about your choices. You know, if your choice ends up in a certain negative consequence, you'll deal with it. But you know you've made an intentional choice.
Exactly.
Don't just leave everything up to chance.
That life is not a trial run, ladies.
What about you? What do you have on your list?
One of my biggest ones I stand on as a true Cancer: trust your gut, your intuition. If you have a funny feeling about something, I mean, I'm telling you, you feel it in your stomach drops, you feel nauseous, feel like something's telling you to don't go, don't do this, or whatever. Trust your intuition, because you have to trust yourself. If you cannot, how can you trust anybody else if you don't trust yourself? And this is also speaking to from a relationship standpoint. I'm married. I have been married for almost 2 years now. My husband and I, which I cannot believe it's only been 2 years. Shout out to my husband. But over the year, we broke up over the years. We were not the couple we dated since high school and had this fall in love, perfect romance. No. You know, I have dated some guys and, you know, he's had experiences in college and whatever, but you gotta trust your gut. If someone's giving you bad vibes, you need to leave that situation, and quickly. And that's with friends, that's with, you know, intimate partners, jobs, whatever. You need to leave that situation quickly, because it will end up worse for yourself if you refuse to ignore it. And I have been in situations that have been less than pleasant, you know, very unpleasant situations. And I mean, I'm sure all of us have. We all have to speak to it, whatever. Trust your intuition. And your intuition, she's that girl. She will guide you through. I wouldn't be where I am today if I did not trust my intuition. And I had to learn that lesson very early in my 20s. Like, I was 20, 21, 19, like in the very earlier in my life, in my early 20s, when, you know, there was just a crazy time in my life during that time, 10 years ago. I mean, Jill was there.
Yeah, but listen,
But we all evolved. We made it through it. And part of the reason why I made it through it was because I trusted myself. I learned to trust my intuition. And if I didn't, it got me in trouble. And it did many a times. But I've learned from it. But trust your intuition, ladies, guys, girls, especially with the people you choose to surround yourself with. And know now in your 20s, you know, in your 20s, you start to date. You think about your families, your friends, your jobs. Like, you know, like with Jillian, you said the defining decade. All these choices that you make are going to affect you later on. So, especially the people you choose to surround yourself with in your inner circle. So, if this is your sign, if you feel some type of orange or red flag from your partner, from your best friend, from your work vice, whatever, really lean on that. I mean, really bad feeling, like you feel it physically, go ahead and get yourself out of there. Rather be safe than sorry. Err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, can you be over dramatic? Sometimes, but you're protecting yourself at the end of the day.
Check yourself.
So trust your intuition.
No, that's a really good one. It kind of goes into my next one. So I was somebody who I'm raised a Southern girl.
Yes. Amen.
We do not like to tussle. Okay, so we leave a lot of things unsaid sometimes.
Rebel.
And it leads me to be non-confrontational, because I don't want to, maybe I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or maybe I just don't want to it's uncomfortable, right? But
Hmm.
through my 20s, I've had to learn that it's okay to be confrontational sometimes. Like, you have to stand up for yourself. Lauren likes to say, nobody's coming to save you.
Nobody's coming to save you.
Nobody is coming to save you. And so there are times where you have to stand up for yourself, whether it's, a work situation, or a situation with a friend. You have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because you
Amen.
have to stand up for yourself. You have to be confrontational in good ways sometimes. And I actually really connected with this because yesterday I was a guest at a church, and
Okay.
actually a guest pastor there, and he shared this beautiful sermon that talked about that, and talked about how God gives us battles, right? Because these battles lead us to our destiny, right? You can't
Yes.
he has to prepare you for what's next, prepare you for your destiny. There's certain things there that you have to be prepared for. You're not going to get
Exactly.
there. And so he basically talked about how there's this spectrum, right? You have some people who are very confrontational, and every single thing they want to fight about or go to toe about, right? They're
Right.
always ready to defend themselves.
We know those people are.
We know those people, right? And for them, they have to work on, what is God wanting you to fight for? What is God ordained? Like, is this battle of God? Is this something to make you better? Or are you just, using your energy in a negative way to quote unquote fight when you don't need to? And then you
Right.
have other people on the other end of the spectrum that are like me, where I just, okay, everything's fine. I'm very non-confrontational, and I've had to learn that the same battles God is preparing for people who are more defensive, He's preparing for me, and I have to step into that. I have to, I have to go into that to reach my next level.
Exactly.
And this isn't physically fighting for those, who maybe, are understanding, but it's figuratively. It's the things you go through in life, the ups and downs that we all have, and it's how we approach them. Some things you need to stand up for yourself on. Some things you just cannot let go, and you need to know how to go about it. You need to know how to regulate your emotions, and it's uncomfortable at first. Even if you're not religious, I feel like you can still take a lot from that story. Pick and choose your battles. What is going to help you move forward, and what is going to hold you back? Because at the end of the day, the challenges we have in life, they take time, they take energy, and you really have to be in a place to go through them. And so you want to make sure that you are using your energy wisely to better yourself. So remember, nobody's coming to save you. You
No
gotta
one.
do what you gotta do to have your back.
No, I love that. It's giving like the Cinderella song by the Cheetah Girls. I could say my own dragons.
Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella. Wait.
I'd rather rescue myself. Okay, girl. What? Similar to you.
Uh-uh.
I think I learned in my 20s. Failing is pivotal for success. You need to fail, and you need to fail often, so you can learn and get back up again. What's that song? Gospel song?
Dust yourself off and try.
That's gospel too. That's a Leah gospel, because that is also a gospel. That is a contemporary gospel, if y'all didn't know. But for real, like, we fall down, we get back up again. Like, for a saint's not a sinner because we fell down. For a saint's a sinner who fell down and got back up. It's we get in our faith a little bit, but it's true. Like, you need to fail. You need to fail. You need to feel. It's okay to feel uncomfortable, like you said earlier. It's okay to feel awkward. It's okay to have confrontation, but you need to fail so you can learn. I learned, I was a psychology major. My in college, sophomore year, you take methods, which is the research base. And some people found the easier ways to take that class, but I was determined to take that class and pass it for understanding, knowing I really wanted to have a career in psychology, and to know the fundamentals about research and the scientific method as it relates to psychology. And I promise you, I failed that class like 3 times. But I refuse to get the easy way out. I refuse to rely on my classmates, or people who have graduated to give me old papers. You know how it is in college.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn it on my own, and when I did, and I got it I got an A+ in that class.
Period.
So when I did, because I already knew, I know the material, but you have to fail. It's okay to fail. Like, what did our girl Beyonce say? People don't want to rehearse. You have to have rehearsal. You have to look awkward. You have to mess
Yes.
up. You have to make mistakes. How can you learn if you do not make mistakes? you know?
And it makes it easier for you to try new things because you're like,
Yes.
well, that didn't work out before and I made it through. And then that's how you get to your destiny. That's how you get to your dream life because
Yes.
you're more comfortable taking those chances. And it's really, really important to do that when you have, the most time ahead of you.
Exactly. You have to make mistakes. You have to look awkward. You need to fail. You have to fail because you need to get to a spot and you're going to hit rock bottom. Newsflash, your Saturn return in your late 20s, 27, 28, 29, when the Saturn is in the same area place when you were born. So a lot of things go awry. People die, you lose your job, crazy life happens. Life. I'm currently in mine. Jillian's. We both have
Yes.
experienced our Saturn
We've
returns,
been
and it takes
talking
some
about it.
time. But you learn there is no way. There's no way over it. You got to go through it.
Through it.
Like Finding Nemo, that trench. Remember, you're supposed to go through that trench. You went over it, and they got stung with them jellyfish.
Mhm.
Like you have to go through it, and
What do
you'll
they
be
say?
okay.
Why stop in hell or whatever? You got to keep going or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You gotta keep, you have to go through it. And I also
Don't
heard,
avoid it. You don't want to get too comfortable.
and I also heard too, during this time with failing and learning your mistakes, advice someone told me, she was in her early 40s at the time. Oh, people say let go and let God. She's told me let go or be dragged. And I'm like, girl, that's so gut wrenching. But it's
Yeah.
true. Like, let go. You need to let go and go through it and just go through the motions. If you're going to fight it, it's going to drag you anyway.
Hmm.
Fail. It's okay to fail. It's not the end of the world.
It's not.
It's okay to fail. You'll be okay. We fall about down and we got up. If you first don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. I'm adding it to the playlist.
Yeah, that's a good one. My next one is so there will be times like you're gonna be tested more than once. The universe, God, whoever you believe in, like life is gonna give you that lesson more than once. And so reflect on those times, follow those patterns. Because after the second, third time, you're gonna be like, is this play about me?
Potter, am I the pop?
Yeah, so reflect on those times and follow the pattern and see what you can change. So don't just say, like, don't be someone who's like, oh, life happened to me again, this happened to me, again, my tire went flat, again, I lost my job, again, this happened. Like, life happens to every single person. Everybody
Okay.
it. And so if you have this mentality where every time you have a challenge, it's like you're up in arms, it can really be difficult. So what are some things you can change? Maybe if you're always having, like, I used to always have problems with my cars because I wasn't driving right under potholes. And I would get frustrated. Then I had to be like, well, what are some things I can do? I can get better at predicting potholes. I can, like, do a little better driving, and my, having to go to the dealership kind of like
Right.
I wasn't messing up my car because I was driving crazy or whatever. So there's some things where you're gonna learn the lesson. That was just kind of a silly one, but sometimes you're gonna just learn a lesson over and over again.
Okay.
I had heard it in the past when I was younger, but I'm like, okay, like that doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you just keep going through the same thing? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like,
Right.
it's spontaneous, and there's so many different ways. No, you will learn, and in so many different ways, you will learn that same lesson. You will
Okay.
be like, okay, that's like for me with the confrontation being confrontational. It was like I was kept getting put in these positions where I was looking. I had to say something, or else I was
Right.
crazy, or I wasn't standing up for myself, and I was getting that lesson over and over again to the point where I was like, okay, I have to sit back and like, what is going on? Because this
Right.
is happening. I don't like this outcome. What can I do? So be reflective in that way when you do have those lessons that keep coming your way. Think about it. Think about what you can change. Think about how you can evolve. You know what I mean? If you want to evolve to that next step, to get to, whatever that next step you want to be, like who you want to be next, like how you want to be. I know we're all trying to be better and greater and bigger to get to our dreams. And so what can you do? Reflect on that lesson. Like, how can I make this the last lesson, or hopefully
Okay.
the next time this lesson comes around, it's not as big of a deal because I'm like, I know how to handle this.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna, this is what it is. I know what I need to do. I'm gonna do it, and that's that. And it's not that big of a deal. Now, when I have car problems, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I know what to do. I go to the dealership, do what I gotta do, and it is what it is. I don't like it. It's not a big ta-da. My world isn't over. God doesn't hate me because I had a car issue. It's just
Right.
it is what it is. I gotta just move on and get through it. So that was like my next little tidbit of advice.
Receive that. You have to like you said, like the universe will really give you the same thing in different fonts. I'm like, wait a minute. And then you're like you said, you second guess yourself. You've been there, done that. Like my class. What did I do? I contribute to that failure too. You know, like how did I not? What could I do better? You know, because I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
failing it more and over again if I don't get it right. And I did, but you have to. It's also a way to also check yourself, hold yourself accountable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're not perfect. No, you're not like my mother said. You know when you're not really that special anyway. Like you're not. Who are you? I mean, but respectfully, with love, with
Respectfully, yeah,
love, with
exactly.
love.
It's like you're not the center of the universe, but like,
Okay.
yeah. What about you? Like, what do you have next on your list?
So mine is a one that was passed down to me from my grandmother and my mother. Ladies, prioritize your skincare. I know it's trendy now, but for real, prioritize your skincare. Skincare, excuse me. Retinol by at 25 years. If you're 25 years old and if you're not using retinol, you are incorrect. You go to over the counter, like the CeraVe one. Oh, you don't use it every single day. Don't use it every single day. I use it a few times a week. If you're new to retinol, just I like to put it over my after my moisturizer until you're used to it and your skin kind of can take it. You can learn how what you need. Use retinol and use every single day. Every single day. I know some days we like it's raining outside, it's cold, it's cloudy. I don't see the sun. Does the sun exist? As I haven't seen it in the winter. Shorty girl, she's there. Little clouds are not going to block you the protection. The ozone layer is messed up because we have global warming. You need to use a SPF every single day. Use it on your face, your neck, and your hands because you will show age first in your neck and in your hands. Like I mean, obviously your faces are going to change. We'll get thinner. You'll have like, lines, whatever. That's just
Whatever,
aging.
just natural
Just
aging.
natural
It works
things.
hard to get our.
We're just aging like fine wine. If you use your retinol, it slows down the process though. But and your SPF. So, but you need to really, but on your neck, you need to really, skincare goes from your here to like here, whole time.
Did I call it your dégagé? Is that what they say?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
I don't know. I think I might have made that up.
I mean, I'm calling that now.
Let me Google it.
But you're here, your portrait from here up, you need to really, from your chest up, you need to really prioritize your skincare. And this is coming from my mother has beautiful skin. My mother does not look her age. My grandmother does not look her age. I love when I go to a different building or a different school in my district and they think I'm a student. 'Cause I'm like, I'm doing something right because I'm way older than these kids. So it's so important to prioritize your skincare.
No, that's so important. I know my mom's been telling me that lately. Like, make sure you do SPF. I need to do like my hands and things like that. I'm bad at the hands.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been starting to be like better at making sure I'm bringing all my skincare like
Yeah, here.
on my neck. But I already have like kind of like wrinkly fingers. But I'm gonna start using it.
But it's really not your fingers are one thing. It's really like your palms. I think you can really tell, like your palms, like the back of your hands. Because like you're gonna have joints, like you have wrinkles and like you have like
Yeah.
fingers and stuff. But really back here, when people start getting a
Yeah.
little wrinkly, like, and then think about too when you're driving, like we're driving on a sunny day. Your
Yeah.
hands are on the wheel, so you have to be very careful about that too. So SPF, reapply it. I highly recommend the Say SPF tinted SPF. I'm currently in the shade 5.5. I know that's one of your favorites too, Jillian. I know you love
Yes. I like
love a Say. Get it from Sephora. She's affordable. She's cute. She works for our black and brown sisters watching, brothers and sisters watching. You need a tinted SPF. You need a tinted SPF. You don't need the white is beautiful. The white creams are beautiful for the beach. For some of them are good, but a tinted SPF really is going to take you a long way. I'm not a
I
dermatologist.
like the super goop too.
I love Supergoop. Supergoop is a good, just get on and go.
Mm.
I love it.
Okay, so my last one is enjoy the present. So
Amen.
as an anxious girly, which I've talked about before, it's been really difficult for me to grasp this, but it's something I feel like I'm starting to like get used to and master more. So it's such a simple phrase and people say it all the time, but it's almost ties into my life is not a trial run. Like today is the day. Like
Yes.
don't hold off everything till tomorrow. You know, obviously things in life evolve and there's so many more beautiful things to come in life and, you know, they'll come. But also like enjoy where you're at, wherever you're at, even if you're not in your quote unquote dream life. Maybe you're in school. Just think about like 5 years ago you were in high school thinking about being in college and now you're here in college.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like now you're here, or you're in your first apartment. I remember feeling like, dang, like I remember graduating from high school. I remember like studying in college and being like, I cannot wait till I'm on my own, or like I wonder what my life will look like in 5 years. And the next thing you know, it's been 5 years and you're looking around. And so it's like, enjoy where you're at. Enjoy, some of the small things, whether it's being able to like share a apartment with your friends,
Yes.
have your own apartment, or go to school, just like anything in your 20s, like have your first job where it's like you're getting to go to the office, like anything is just like soak in those moments, because there's a lot of firsts that happen in your 20s, because you're just like, I call it like being a baby adult.
It
I
is.
feel like a real adult. I feel like a real like the first part of being a real adult now that I'm 30, but like you're literally still like a baby, like you're an adult teenager in your 20s, and there's just so much you're learning and so much you're doing in the real world for the first time on your own. So really like be proud of yourself, sit in those moments, enjoy the simple ones, just enjoy like walking down the street, or like you have an internship in a big city, or sitting and being with your grandparents for the summer because you came back home for break,
Yeah.
hanging out with them for the summer. It's like, no, it's not, your quote unquote dream life, or the quote unquote the end, where there really is no like real end of life, or
Right.
it's like these are the moments day to day. It's like they're precious. Your life means something every single day.
Like we say, live, laugh, love.
Yes, live, laugh.
Live, laugh, love. I love that. Again, receive that. I
Yes.
receive that. For my last one, it's very it's similar, but just in a different light. Be a hot girl, okay? You will never be this young and this hot ever again. You will be hot, but you won't be ever this young again. Be a hot girl. Go to that party, go out with your friends, go to that happy hour, go to that book club, go to that Sunday service, go on that trip, wear that outfit, wear those heels, learn how to walk in heels, learn how to do your makeup, be a hot girl. Because when you have kids, you want to, I personally, for vanity speaking, I would love to look back like this was your mom.
Yes.
It's still your mom, but this was your mom. I've always been that girl, will be that girl. I have evidence. Like I have evidence. This is I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. But it's like a confidence thing too, like all seriousness, like I want to be like, I'm exactly who I say I am. And I know deep and down, like I've learned that in my 20s too, being a hot girl, I know I'm exactly who I say I
That's
am. And
right.
I stand on that, okay? And all my friends are too. My sister is, like the people in my life are, they are exactly who they say they are.
It's really a
Take
mindset. It's like adopting
it
that
is
mindset and just having
just
that.
it is, and I think also kind of goes into like I'm so thankful I went to HBCU for undergraduate because the level of confidence I received, like just going there, even though I didn't have the best of time there academically, I still learned a lot about myself, and I know I'm that girl. I've accomplished some things, and I'm proud of. Like I said before, you two could have this, and I was able to get this because I was a hot girl. So be a hot girl. You're an it girl. Strive to be your best. Being a hot girl also means like it's okay to have some vanity. Take some pride in your body. Go to that gym.
Mm-hmm.
Do your skincare routine. Wash your face. Brush your teeth. Like easy
Do your
things. Like
hair.
things like 1, 2, 3. Do those things. So when you get older and you don't do those things, it's hard to get that stuff back.
Yeah, and it's hard to get that thing started. You kind of gotta have to get your like, what's your flow, like what's your look, and like I think too, like just being a hot girl, like it can mean different things for you. It's really just embodying like who are you? What do you
Yes.
be? Like be who you are. Like walk in who you are. Be confident in it. Like you are that girl. Like you're a hot girl. Do you?
Yeah, affirm yourself. And let's just,
Yeah.
and I'm all big too. Like, create a vibe for yourself. Operate at a high frequency. If y'all know me, I have music playing 24/7 if I'm not listening to an audiobook. And it's usually, I'm not listening to no sad girl R&B. I ain't gonna cry. No. There's a time and place for that in my car driving late in my shower. But for the most part, I need high vibes. I am that girl. I feel great. That's why I listen to Beyonce. I mean,
Yes.
Beyonce sets the vibe for that. Like,
It's just
girls run the world. I'm that girl, diva, ego, whatever. Yes, she has some R&B ballads, but like, she really is the essence of what it's like to be a hot girl and be a hot, like, and hot boy too. Like, we don't discriminate over here. Hot boy,
no, we don't.
hot boy, be a hot boy. Missy Elliott, Hot Boys is one of my favorite songs. Okay,
Ties in. I mean, I feel like a lot of our everything kind of like ties into each other. She was just like, life is not a trial run. Like
it's
go for it.
not.
Like
It's not.
Wait, why sit on the sidelines of your own life when you can be an active participant? Like,
Yes.
do the thing.
I just want to like shout out to the real like Gen Z girls. Like we're like zillennials, but like I've noticed Gen Z has a lot of young girls are out here doing the daggone thing in their early 20s, and I'm just so here for it. Like even the ones who are not big on social media, like the ones I meet professionally, I'm like, you know what? They stand up for what is right. They know that they stand on business, and I have a lot of respect for that. And I have learned a lot that too. Even my younger sister, only a year apart, but she's taught me a lot of things about confidence and like yeah, I actually am going to be more outspoken, but it's part of being a hot girl.
It is.
Hot girls speak up for
Definitely is.
themselves. Hot girls realize life is not a trial run. Hot girls fail. Hot girls have their faith. Hot girls do their skincare.
Hot girls stand for something.
Okay.
No, I do. Yeah, I really love that. So I hope everybody enjoyed this part of the conversation. I think Lauren and I were having talks before this, and like we have to share like some of our lessons that we've learned during our tweets. And if you guys like this, like we definitely probably can do a part 2. Those were just like some of the things that we did. I think we really enjoyed speaking about this. We love speaking life into people, so we really hope you love this conversation. But you know what's next.
Okay, so let's get into our favorite part of the show when we share our unpopular opinions, maybe popular opinions, our controversial takes. So I like to call it our take on it. So my take on it this week, as I know if y'all know, the premiere of America's Sweethearts season 2 of the Dallas Cowboys shooters came out a couple days ago, last week. I have watched all episodes. As a preference, and those y'all don't know me, this is actually my favorite show of all time. I have been watching the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders since they were on CMT in 2006. I watched it all the way up into the pandemic, and afterwards, their last season. In fact, those who don't know, that is the longest running reality TV show. Okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was running that whole time. I thought that they were just playing reruns and stuff.
No, it's been going on. They only did not film one rookie year season, which was I think maybe the 2022 rookie year has not been filmed since 2006, y'all, because they got off of CMT. That is the longest. The making a team was the longest. So that being said, and I'm also, as those of y'all don't know, Jillian and I are dancers. We grew up in the dance world. I grew up in the dance world in the early 2000s. I survived it. I'm here. So I understand that perspective. I have a lot of respect for the dance industry, all this flaws and all. Okay, so I feel like I'm an expert on the show. I feel like I'm an expert on the show.
No, I would say that.
So a lot with CMT versus Netflix. With CMT, they showed the Priestley training camp, the audition process. I think season 7, like maybe the 2008, no, 13, whatever, 2012 season 8, whatever. They filmed some games after the training camp candidates made the show. So those not familiar with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders process, they have a very intensive audition process. They have like calls, the audition. You used to go down to the stadium in Dallas and they would dance for an hour. They have an open call. Then they would call you back to learn their choreography. And then they would do another cut and then you have finals. So when you get to the finals, which you still have finals today, I know they do a lot of those calls like virtually, they send their videotapes in. The finals is in person. So the people who invite the finals, it's like these potentially rookie candidates and the veterans, because the veterans have to try out every single year at finals. Finals is a minute and 30-second solo, 90-second solo. They have to show choreography with the kick line, and usually it's an interview process because they ask those girls like real questions, like civic questions, Cowboys history questions. They're smart women. Like I have a lot of respect for how Kelly and Judy, Kelly's the director, Judy's the choreographer, how they run that organization. I do have a lot of respect for it. It's just been an observer and a true fan over almost 20 years of that organization. So now it's becoming popular because last year they got on Netflix.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of discourse about this girl should have made it, or they're being so harsh. And I'm like, maybe I understand too, the masses are not familiar with the dance world or the entertainment world. As yes, some of it is very toxic, can be toxic, but it's also a job and they don't have to do it. So, that being said, the standards that they do have for their dancers, their cheerleaders are very high and I have a lot of respect for it. But last year, there was a cut at the end of the year. Okay, the girl get cut. She was short. She was short. She was petite. They said that her critique was she looks young and out of place. Okay, like they're like, oh, they could have kept her. Girl, the team is 36. She felt 37. It's okay. And now she dances for the Miami Dolphins. Anyways, this year, it was a little bit different. I really miss kind of seeing the dances and rehearsals, like the CMT side of things, so they can see like the true talent in the dancers, how they evolve and their raw process. But I understand now why they don't do that anymore, just because with TikTok and social media, in the past year, everyone was doing Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
So everyone was doing it. I mean, so I'm sure, like, creatively speaking, if I'm thinking from a creative standpoint, as somebody used to choreograph, I don't want to show y'all all my business. Y'all gonna sit here and copy it. Not saying that that's their case, that they're feeling, but
that happens a lot.
That happens a lot in the dance world. If y'all are not familiar with that, like a lot of people don't film choreography. Now it's like if you film choreography, it's almost expectation that you realize that people are gonna copy it, even if it's not like for their own, just for fun. Like they have your steps, and people can learn on a video now. Mm-hmm. So that being said, we saw a lot of the behind the stories of some of the cheerleaders. Shandi was in year 6. I remember her watching her. She was on the 2019 season. She was my fan favorite. And then I'm glad we got to see her side story, showcase her, because she did not get a lot of spotlight when she was on CMT her rookie year. I loved how Shandi was point, which is the front of the triangle. Shout out to my black girls out there. She was a point, and Jada, Miss Queen that she is, was a 5th year, the other point. They have 2 points at the formations. 2 black girls in Texas were the point of triangle, period. They talked about the pay and how it was $15 an hour and all these things. I'm sure if y'all know now, there's a lot of articles and it's discourse, like since the show, some of those cheerleaders fought to get higher pay, and now they're getting paid $75 an hour for the next season. So that's a huge step in the dance world too, in the entertainment world, that people are getting paid for what they're worth because they're so popular. But
and also like they're ambassadors, so they have to go out in the community, do things like that. It's not just they're rehearsing, so they're putting a lot of time and effort.
They are. They do. They put a lot of time, hours. They do the USO tours for show group. So you can make show group, which is, see, I'm all into this. You make show group when you are like the 16 best dancers. You audition for show group. They go on USO tours. So they visit the military bases around the country, around the world, and they dance for them and show them some love. Like they're really like you said, true ambassadors. It's like America's sweethearts, but they really are out there, like really portray American culture. Like their uniforms, the Smithsonian, so they are very iconic. I think they're just so iconic. And yes, the dance world has changed. And yes, we have to evolve as like dancers as the time has come to be more progressive. But honestly, unpopular opinion of mine, like I don't think that the weight or like the pay thing is like, I'm glad that the pay thing is like, I'm glad the girls got their money. People get money where they deserve. But maybe the weight thing, like, I don't think that's not hot. I don't think that's like being like not inclusive. Like sometimes things don't have to be inclusive. Like they want a certain type of girl, they're gonna have a certain type of girl. When I was training to be a dancer, when I was a dancer, I went to a pre-professional company to prepare me to be in the professional world. They told us about our weight. And you couldn't go where, your weight is your weight. That's what you sign your contract on. And you can't go 5 pounds over, 5 pounds under. That's just how it is. Not saying I agree with it, but for some dance teams, organizations, you need to have that look. Like Rockettes, you got to be 5'5". I'm 5 foot. I knew from a very early age I would never be a Rockette. And I was okay with that. There's always a organization for you, but a lot of these other viewers who watch it just don't take the dance into consideration when they have their opinions on the girls.
They don't necessarily know either.
They don't, and
it's kind of like that hard, because like for me too, I kind of see it in that way. I'm like, well, yeah, is it toxic? Yes, but at the same time, that's kind of just how the dance cheerleading world is.
Yes.
And yeah, some of it's toxic to a point. Like you definitely have to have a true sense of self and be able to make sure you can keep yourself healthy, or else it can get toxic. But there's a standard because you're in these small uniforms. That's the look. Like
And then they're athletes. They're athletes.
look, yeah, they're athletes. Like you have to be in shape. Like you need to be. And I'm just saying, like you can't be being a certain weight means you're in shape. I don't want to.
Right. And no one's trying to modify, like, give me double zero.
But
You have to be lean, trim, and thin, and it makes the girls look good. It makes the dancers look good. I am a very big fan of that show. If you have not checked it out, please check it out on Netflix. I would love to hear y'all's like opinions on it. So, but yeah, that was my take on it. That's like my little recap.
so for me, I'm gonna talk about Love Island. We're just gonna keep the show thing. So
Yeah.
I am a first time Love Island viewer, and I'm going to talk about all the episodes up till 16. So that's the episode with Meg Thee Stallion. So if you do not watch Love Island, you number one should. But it's basically a dating show, and it really reminds me of like old school MTV, Real World, Are You the One, like kind of like dating show where it's like real messy. They're all in the same house. So they're in Fiji. They all live in the same house. They're all walking around in bathing suits and shorts, like all hot stuff. Walking around. It's all the most beautiful women and most beautiful guys, quote unquote, or that's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole premise of the show is they're supposed to like partner up with each other. That's why it reminds me of Are You the One?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I love that show. So basically, I guess a couple at the end wins and there's money involved. I can't speak too much about the end half because I really don't know how that part works, but I'm in the beginning, first 16 episodes, and every episode you have to be paired up. They do like different challenges. And so the whole premise of the show, or like one of the themes in the show, is that like everybody's open, because even though like you might be partnered with somebody and you sleep in the same bed with them, but you're supposed to be like openly dating because you're really supposed to be finding love. So you want to like get with someone and stick with them, because if you're uncoupled, you're at risk to be eliminated. Yes, but that's like a little bit of like overview of the show. But the real stuff is like the people on the show. So obviously we have the fan favorites, Shelly and Olandria, who are like the Black Barbie queens. Like Olandria literally like looks like a goddess. Like you could not, like it's just so nice seeing them on TV. They're like loved. Everybody loves them. Everybody thinks they're hot. And so Olandria has been with this guy. She's like this country girl, this southern girl. She likes a country man. So she's been with this guy Taylor. So he's this guy. He's quote unquote from the South. I don't know how I feel about them, because I feel like he can put a little bit more effort in. So if you watch the show, you probably can follow a little bit more along with me. But I feel like he could put a little bit more into her because she is that girl. But they've been pretty much a couple the whole time, except for there was a week where this other guy came in. His name was Jalen. He was this cute country man that came in. It actually was like his first time going out the country, so it was like this whole
Aww.
And he's like so sweet, but he was only on there for like an episode. It was so sad. They went out, but she was like not feeling him, and so then her and Taylor got back together. Now they're coupled, and so I'm really interested to see if he shows her more interest, like how that's gonna go. So that's them. Okay, so next I have my girl Amaya. Like you could never make me hate Amaya. She's like coupled up with Austin right now. She's like this Dominican girly. Like she has like the most animated like features and animated like gestures. Like she's so dramatic. It's so funny. Like she has the best heart. Austin, I don't know. Like, he's just this cool playing guy, but there's just not much in between his ears going on.
No.
I don't think that they're really, like, they kind of, like, coupled up, like, spontaneously, so I don't know if they're gonna really, like, stay. Next is Ace and Shelly. Ace has been, like, kind of breadcrumbing, I feel like, Shelly from the beginning, but now they're finally a couple. They haven't been a couple the whole time. But the tea with Ace is, like, he likes to kind of, like, manipulate the group. Like, he kind of just, like, sits back and observes, and it's, like, he has so much to say about everybody else's couple, and he's always giving the guys like advice and stuff like that, but it's like you haven't really made a true connection in the house. You're just like looking around and like.
That's interesting. I don't watch the show, but I've had heard about Aces, like I have heard that name. Like
exactly.
I hear he's a little unpopular.
Exactly, but there's like some other people in the show, but of course, like I'll touch on. I'm not gonna talk about everybody, but Huda and Jeremiah. Huda had a whole crash out for multiple episodes.
Yeah, what's going on with Huda? Like I just keep seeing this name come up.
Huda, Hurricane Huda. Okay, so the thing with
Hurricane Huda. Oh my god.
Jeremiah and her, she's actually from Raleigh, which is crazy. It's where I'm from, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yikes.
I didn't know her or anything like that, but
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
her and Jeremiah got together the very first challenge and coupled up and stayed together. And he was love bombing her, and she was eating it up, and she was kind of loving bombing him back. So they were just like kind of like in La La Land. I mean, like you're in Fiji. They were both they're both attractive. They were both attracted to each other. So they were just like, they kind of just like stuck like glue. And it wasn't just like, okay, like some of the other couples who kind of like got matched were like, okay, we're just still getting to know each other. But they were like, no, we're together. We're getting married. It has a daughter. She didn't want to like talk about it at first. And so she finally revealed to him that like she has a child.
Is that sign that sound bite? Like, I'm a mom. I'm a mommy. No, I'm a mom. Is that that?
That's her, but it's with Nick, who's another contestant. So a couple days later, she tells Nick so that Nick and Jeremiah can talk about it, because at first Jeremiah was like keeping it in because she didn't tell anybody except for the girls, so he couldn't like talk to anybody about the fact that she was a mother, and that played into a factor of like their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, so that was like when Nick was like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, hold on, wait, like, okay, like this is weird. So, but yeah, she had a full crash out because basically he got
Who's he?
another bomb, huh?
Who's he? Which he?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeremiah. So
Jeremiah. Okay, she crashed with Jeremiah. I'm just following along.
yeah, sorry. And they
But you're
were
fine.
really like love bomby relationship going on. And then I believe it was when Iris came in, who was a bombshell. And bombshells come in, you have your set group of islanders, and then like every like couple challenges you have new people come in, like a girl or both. So Iris was a girl that came in, and she, you know, wanted to get to know Jeremiah. Huda was like kind of upset about it. And then America, they chose, there were so many episodes where she was cracking out. I'm trying to figure out which one triggered her. But America basically chose to put Jeremiah and Iris together and break up Huda. Oh, I know what it is.
So viewers vote in who gets voted off.
So certain episodes you can. Again, I'm
not okay.
Like the rules of the show. But Huda actually, she was crashing out before then. She basically like.
Oh, but I don't want
Iris went. So then America put Huda. They put Jeremiah and Iris together because they were sick of Jeremiah and Huda together. They were just like walking around like a couple. They were being kind of like all up into each other. Like Huda was starting to get toxic. And then this is when Hurricane Huda happens, because the next day, like after the challenge, first of all, she has this full meltdown that she is not going to be partnered with Jeremiah anymore, even though it wasn't his choice, it was America's choice. And
right.
So it was, you know, number one, that was like crazy. Like she had a full meltdown. And then she was upset because the next day after the challenge, the producers took the new couples to, and she wasn't a couple at this point, she had been uncoupled by herself. So she stayed back, and the new couples went to like an island for like a date. Like they went off on like a boat day, and it included Jeremiah and Iris. And so this is like in the morning, she wakes up and she sees that some of the islanders are gone. She goes over to Taylor, taps him, and she's like, they're gone. She's like, I know they left on a date, they're gone. And that's when like I was like, oh my gosh. And so then she's upset all day because she's like, he went on a date with her, like yada yada yada. But mind you, this is a game show, so like we coupled that, like none of these were his like choices that he didn't like ask to go on a date with her. Like the producer set that up, so she's just going off. She's upset at Iris. She's like cussing. She's just full on crashing out on the episode. Then they get back. She wants to confront Iris. She wants to find out what they did. She's like, we just sat on the beach and like, you know, talked, hung out. And she's like, my dream date. He knows that. That's where that sound comes. It's like that's what we're working with. And so like at one point she was talking to the girls, and she's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Gets up. Mind you, the guys are in another area talking. She gets up, walks past the guys, goes, sits on the stairs behind them, and starts eavesdropping. She was never going to the bathroom. Then she comes up close, hears Jeremiah talking, and then she just comes out, okay, and then she just starts going off. Like she was like full.
Stop it.
Going on for multiple episodes, yes. She was just so upset that like he was maybe moving on, and she had fully like, so it was now. People, I will say, people were coming for her on the internet. They don't have their phones, and I feel like, listen, we all have crashed out. Have I done that? No, but we have all had crazy.
We can empathize with the situation, you know.
So let's not be mean. Now, I think this is probably gonna be her last time because she's gonna see herself, which is good, because that was insane.
Right.
That's a little spill about them. But check out Love Island, y'all.
to watch that. Everyone keeps watching it. I need to add it. I need to really seriously and just tune in with the rest of America and watch it this summer.
Yeah, you do. And every day, the problem is like they have a new episode every day except for Wednesdays and Sundays. So it's like if you like, I've missed a few days and everything's happening so fast. That's why it's like people are so locked into it because it's like if you miss a day, like so.
What's it come on? Like when and where? What time?
Peacock 9 p.m. they drop the episode.
Okay.
And like you can go and like binge all the ones that are out now. Like I have like I think 3 or 4 episodes I need to catch up on. Like that's my goal tonight. It's like catch up on some of my episodes because I need to be like on track. It's not fun when you're so behind. I need to like be like on the episode. So
I love it. Oh my God. I didn't want to say drop the episode every single day. Like, I mean, all I hear is Love Island, Love Island, Love Island, Love Island. I'm like, I live under a rock. You know, I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm the nerdy girl who reads the books. But I have watched, I need to like get into some good reality TV.
Fun. It's a fun one. Like I said, it gives you like old MTV vibes where it's kind of like messy. They're in the house together. And
the hormones are going. I love that because Are You the One was that show? Was that girl?
Oh my gosh, I love that show.
Oh my God, bring back old MTV when they actually had good reality TV.
Exactly, but that was all I had. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. We really loved talking to you guys. I hope you guys like our new format. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, like us on YouTube. We'd love to get some feedback from you all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.